Om Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Mother of the Universe, the gods and goddesses of all religion, of the gurus of the universe, of the world, and of the ancient gurus, rishis of the Vedanta. Paramahansa Yogananda, Sri Yukteswar Giri, Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Sri Vivekananda, Holy Mother Sharada, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, and all the gurus, the Adi Guru, bless us all that we are taken from this sufferings of the universe to understanding with the direct knowledge who we really are and what and how to remove this suffering. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bless us all. Jai Guru, and welcome. Once again, we have a wonderful Sunday. I was just reflecting. Good to see you guys, and it's so wonderful. And my very special pranam to the senior lots. I see lots of faces. I was reflecting in the morning today that, with this world of the spiritual world and the world of this universe, the wonderful countries, varieties of the country, the food, the people, the technology, the places, this China and Japan and Switzerland and Europe and England and France and America and South Africa and the Middle East and India. There is so much outside. And all we are doing, we are busy. All of us are just busy with our five senses experiencing that world. Whether it is through the mobile data, through the computer, through the television screen, through the big box, through the books, through talking, listening on the phone, looking at people, looking at, window shopping. All we are doing is enjoying apparently, and buying things and eating things and enjoying various sensual pleasures. And we think this is world. This is the world. And in this journey, my reflection was, while doing this study, we had a session on this Thursday. Some of you may have gone a part of what we're going to talk about today. What we're doing now on Thursdays, we do a pretty good outline so that those of you who are truly sincere travelers as a spiritual seeker, you reflect on it. You set questions in your mind, ask questions immediately thereafter. And subsequently, on Sunday, we do a little more in detail and we understand. So our journey today is not like what we used to have in the theistic religion. If I wanted to have a holy city, I go to Benares or Mecca or Jerusalem or Jagannath temple in Puri or Kedarnath or Badrinath or Kailash Manasarovar. In other words, the attainment of the spiritual knowledge for us was one place to another. Our spiritual gurus, our pandits, our mullahs, whether it is Christian heaven or Islamic heaven or a Hindu heaven or a Jaina heaven, each one of the heaven has got a different description. Theistic religion. Maki, I want you to reflect on it. It is not a question of doubting. It is not a question of mockery. They're all true. In our practices, in the Advaita Vedanta, and in the practices of Advaita Vedanta with Kriya Yoga, every path leads to that one. Ishvara, Allah, God, the gurus, it leads to them. Every path is okay. But I want you to realize in this journey, on my reflection, that we were told by our gurus, by our pandits, if you want to go to meet God, you have to wait till you go to heaven. And in this time, during this earth, be kind, be nice, do good, give gifts, give the money to ashramas at the temples or the churches of the mosque or the gurdwara. Give, be good, be kind, and then you will meet God. When? In heaven. When? After death. When? After. Again, now it is one is place, go to the holy places, holy cities, or it is time. But the Vedanta is saying it is not. It is eternal. It is Sarvavyapi. And he's talking about this supreme is not a travel from time over time. It is not place to place. It is not object to object. Object to object, one object to another object is dual. And the moment I say that you recollect Desha Paricheta, Kala Paricheta, and Vastu Paricheta. In the Vastu Paricheta, the moment I become as an understanding of God or Brahman is in every object that goes beyond Vastu Paricheta. The object limited. What does it say then? God is in everything. God is in everyone. A beautiful example is you and I need to realize, we are very respectful, kind, and good to mosque and temple and church and all the worship places, but we are not very respectful to the objects. Let's say our mobile, the computers, we shut it hurriedly and just go up to sleep. We don't take care of our clothes. We come back from office tired whole day and we somehow take off the clothes and just dump it. We take care of it later, and the later never happens. So there is always Diwali cleaning and Eid cleaning in every house has to be cleaned up because there's so much of garbage in the attics and everywhere. We're not taking care. Holy Mother Sharada, the Guru of Vivekananda and the holy partner of Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, once in Jairambati, she was sitting near the temple and one of the sweeper was sweeping and he finished sweeping. He cleaned it up. He knew mother is sitting there. And then the broom, he just threw it like that in a corner. It was corner place. It was going to the right place, But he just threw it. Mother said, come here, my son. When you say God, Brahman is in everything, God is in that also. Sarva Vyapi Anantam Advaitam. Sarva Vyapi everywhere. The God is there also. You must take care even of the broom. And with this, I would like you to get what I'm trying to reflect. We will start up with we take a lot of reflections and time. So this, we are talking, today's topic is a very favorite topic and everybody wants to. And it comes from this direct knowledge, comes from a very powerful Upanishad. And what I'm talking about, this direct reflection, is the knowledge. Like, supposing I ask you right now, hey, champion devotee, fellow travelers, are you there? Can you hear me? Can you see me? And you say, yeah, I'm there. I ask you, how do you know that? How do you know you're there? You say, come on, I can see you. I can hear you. I said, yeah, do all that. Those are 5 senses. Now, what I'm talking about, how do you know that you are there? Not seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, feeling. Just you. And this you is your existence. The ocean of existence has made you, me, this computer, our family, people, friend, country, planets, the whole universe. Existence, ocean of existence. That ocean of existence within you and you is telling you, I am there. But we do no investigation and journey, or schematically very little. And to do that is this process that we are following, and we are taking up the journey. This direct knowledge, it comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This is covered by in Panchadashi 700 years ago. And the chapter is the 7th chapter, and it's called the lamp of bliss. The peace, the understanding. Once we get this direct knowledge and travel to understand, then you would be in that place and you will know. So what is this journey then? This journey is not a place to place, time to time, or object to object. This is a place of not knowing to knowing. Why is it I was going outwards and everybody else in the world, all of us, you and me, every one of us, unless we were born enlightened or born with a tremendous work, I am not that. And I pray that some of you should be and acquire it in this birth. I'm working very hard and sincerely, and that praying that all of us do travel in this life itself and get this bliss. I know I can hear one voice who is saying, I know also who is this. I'm always in bliss. Yes, you are, and may Divine Mother, God and the Gurus bless you. But this bliss is an apparent bliss. When you're truly in bliss, then it's a powerful something. And our journey today is to take on to that journey. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is 4.4.12, and in which I would like you to read out. Now, you and I heard about Mahavakyas. We've done a lot of sessions on Mahavakyas. Prajnana Brahman, consciousness alone is the Brahman. Tat Tvam Asi, Shwetaketu is being told by Father. Mahavakyas, they're all direct knowledge. And the fourth one, ayam Atman Brahman, Anubhava Vakya. Tattvamasi is Upadesha Vakya. Aham Brahmasmi, Anusandhana Vakya, searching for who is this me. And Prajnana Brahman is Lakshana Vakya. It gives us the direction, tells us. This is also a Mahavakya. There are other Mahavakyas too. The four ones are the ones which are taken universally by every Vedantist and spiritual gurus as the main Mahavakya. But there are in Upanishad, there are other Mahavakyas too. This from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Let me read out for you. Atmanan Sid Vijanayad ayam asmiti purushaha kimchan kasaya kamaya shariram anusamjare. Let me repeat that. Atmanan Sid Vijanayad ayam asmiti purushaha kimichan kasaya kamaya shariram anusamjare. It's a beautiful mantra saying if an individual like you and me, if we were to realize that we are this infinite existence, infinite consciousness, infinite bliss, Sat Chit Ananda, then if we are to do it in the journey, you and me, we are in the journey. After doing it, that is after attainment, this question may not arise, we do not know, but we read about it that it may not come, because then you are Brahmagyani, you're enlightened. But in this journey, it's saying for whose sake that we continue to search that outwards, which we talked about in the deliberation. This is that Panchadashi Vidyaranyan, great sage, great Vedantist, Advaita Vedantist, 7th chapter called Lamp of Bliss. And this is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4.4.12, another Mahavakya. It's a beautiful one. It encapsulates the entirety of the spiritual life, the entirety of the Vedanta. If we are to realize that and we are in the journey, then for whose sake? For whom? To give to my wife something, to give to my husband, my friend, my partner, my son, my daughter, my Gurudev, to give something that I am searching and hunting for it. For whose sake? Let us take the journey. Who is this me? Who am I? In this, it talks about ayam asmi. The waking person, you and I are looking out with the world with our five senses and gathering, grabbing, dumping it into our brain, and brain is sending it to the mind, mind takes it, and getting with the reflective consciousness, the conscious awareness of that item, and we say, this is the world. This is me. Who am I? This. Body, mind, and name and form. And if I'm in the dream state, then in that dream state, and I wake up and I say, oh, this was a dream. But Jagrat, Sapna, Mandakya Upanishad, and then Sushupti, in the deep sleep, as we wake up and we say, I had a wonderful sleep, in which your awareness of your body, awareness of your mind in waking state, in dream state exists. But in deep sleep state, neither of them. And then you begin to realize, I am not this sthula sharira. I am not this sukshma sharira. I am not this karana sharira, the causal body. Take it as we travel, we realize the panchakosha viveka. The physical body, annamaya kosha. The vital body, the pranamaya kosha. I am on the journey to realize that I am only consciousness, aware of my physical body, aware of my vital body, pranamaya kosha, aware of my mind, manamaya kosha, aware of my knowledge, intellect, buddhi, jnanamaya kosha, aware of my happiness, the bliss, anandamaya kosha. I begin to realize that I'm neither of them. I'm only the consciousness, existence consciousness, and which in turn is the bliss, the eventual bliss. And witnessing these, I'm independent of these bodies, but I'm experiencing the body, these bodies, including my mind, including my intellect, they're all objects. I am the subject. I'm the drashta. These are all drishya. All of you are advanced Vedantists and Kriyaban yogis. You are aware of this. I am that consciousness in which the physical, the subtle, and the causal body arise, play around, and disappear. Recollect Ashtavakra, Khelanti, Ujjayanti, and then Visharada. It comes back, submerges back into the consciousness. Ashchurya Vichara. Ashchurya Jivayas come up and go around. Now, this talking about who am I is the I am Asmiti. These are that I am the fourth state, the Turiya state. I'm neither of those Jagrat, Swapna, or Sushupti. I am the Turiya, the fourth state, which is what is the sloka is saying. I am Atmanansit Vijanaya. That is, I am, if I am to realize this, and this is where talking about that this physical body, this subtle body, etc., is not me. I'm the consciousness, and I am the Panchakosha Viveka is beyond that. You can see the picture, the understanding. These are the subtle body, causal body, and the Panchakosha. In which Vedanta is utilizing extensively the story of the 10th man. We all have heard it again and again, many times. I will run over it. The 10 man crossing the river. And I am not aware. I am aware of what? The world outside. I'm sensing the world with my physical senses and my property and my family and things to buy, things to eat, things to see. 5 senses. I don't know what is Brahman. So, na asti na bhati. Since I cannot see, I do not realize it. It doesn't exist. So this is what Vivekananda talked about. Can you show me? The same question is in all of us. I talk to the children and they say, sir, if there is God, why can't I see him? Why can't I touch and taste and smell and feel that God is with me? And this journey is for us to continue to realize that presence. And the moment we keep on doing that, it is a different world which emerges. So the 10 man is going across, crossing the river. So the first stage is the Ajnana state. And the second stage is Avarana, a veiled. I do not think, Nasti na bhati, Brahman exists. And then in the third stage, I crossed the river, and you recollect the story. One of the man said, hey, we crossed the river, current was very swift. Before we proceed with our journey, let's just have a head count. Let's count. Is everybody, all 10 people are here? And you know the story. They count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they were counting everybody. They were not counting themselves. And they came to the conclusion, wrong conclusion, 10th man don't exist. They came to the conclusion, wrong conclusion. There is nothing called Brahman. There's nothing called Ishvara. There's nothing called God. There's a beautiful thing I'm remembering is one of the great gurus is saying. Prayers, we pray all the time, especially when we are suffering or one of our close ones or the beloved ones or the known ones is suffering and seek help. We pray for them. So this wise monk is saying, everybody prays. But 9 to 10% of the people of the world, they say, we don't believe in God, we don't pray. But the monk says, everybody prays. So I say, how do you explain that 9 to 10%? He said, they call it, I wish. Who am I wishing to? I asked them, so who are you wishing to? Oh, I'm not wishing to your 10 hand, 10 heads, God or goddesses or something. I am just wishing to the supreme nature. And if it goes in subconscious mind and the conscious mind and superconscious mind, and it will come in. So the monk says, everybody's praying. That wish is also a prayer. And the same thing is here, comes in the third. They count and they go into the wrong conclusion. No God, no Ishvara, no Brahman, no 10th man. The moment I say there is no 10th man, I say, oh my God, 10th man is drowned. 10th man is not there. I can't see him. So it doesn't exist and he's drowned. He's dead. Oh, poor guy, samsara. I look at the sufferings now, coronavirus and sickness and aging and no money and no job and no food and no doctor and no vaccination. I'm suffering. I'm in the samsara now. And remember our sessions of earlier little while. Samsara is duality, not non-dual. The moment I go over Vastu Paricheda, there is no objects where I am not there, or the Brahman is not there. In Vastu Paricheda, is gone, Shunyam, Vastu Paricheda Shunyam, God is everywhere. Here, I do not have that. 10th man is not there, is dead. I do the Viksheva, howling, crying, oh my God, beating at the chest. The wise man comes in and he said, Dave, why are you crying? And he understands quickly and he said, listen, don't cry. 10th man is there. So we are told by our guru, our books, hey, God is there, Brahman is there, Upanishad is saying that Sat Chit Ananda, God is there. We believe, faith, theistic religion, I believe. I said, oh, must be there. I can't see the 10th man still. I'm in the 4th state. And then he says, count again. We say, we have already counted. He said, count again. Again, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and he holds my hand and turns it towards me and says, Dasamatvasi, you are the 10th one. You are the one. Tat Tvam Asi Mahavakya. And I say, oh, let me count it again. And I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 10th man is there. And this comes the 5th stage, is the nirvana, is the realization state, is the 10th man is there. Now just think, the 10th man was at the stage of the Ajnana, when the 10 people were crossing, was there. Let's say it was me who was the 10th man, or every one of the 9 men were the 10th man, because once I showed how to count 10, other one said, let me also count. And they also counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. For each one, the 10th, Tat Tvamasi, that Aham Brahmasmi was there. But we were in a Jnana state, we didn't know. And we were in the Avarana state, veil of ignorance, when we crossed the river. Vikshepa state, we couldn't see the 10th. So we started crying. And the 4th stage, the wise man comes in, Aparoksha Jnana, from the knowledge of somebody. Till then, we were going by Pratyaksha Jnana. I'll just explain these terms. You all are aware of it, just a little bit. Till then, we were looking at with the senses, Pratyaksha. And now this is Paroksha. Paroksha, he is telling us, another, my guru, my teacher, the wise man is telling, no, he's there. And then comes, I attain the 5th stage. And in the 5th stage, in the Aparoksha Jnana, Pratyaksha, Paroksha, Aparoksha. We'll just come to that. And from there, the moment everybody realized that 10th man is there, nobody is down, they are all, goes away, Duksha Nivritti stage, 6th stage. This journey at the 10th stage is the spiritual journey, and Vedanta Panchadashi, written almost 300, exact 298 verses on this one lamp of bliss, one sloka of Brihadaranyaka. And imagine we are trying to do it in just one little session. I'm trying to understand. And Vidyaranaya spent 298 verses on this one sloka. Just think what the enormity of the time and the research and the investigations that our great rishis, masters, have done for thousands of years. And we are going for the knowledge which is outside, and Western science is telling us this is it, this is not true. And we say this is so. We are following that, we are studying it. And you and I have decided, chosen, yes, it was because of the ambience of the school, the Western influence, the British education, but whatever, we are aware of Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutram. Very few amongst us are truly wanting to search, do a little study. We are delighted, you and I are blessed. It is said, it is written down in Upanishad, that the fact that we are sitting down with tiny one drop of microscopic knowledge and talking in the language of Vedanta, we are blessed. We must have done something great to listen, to ask questions, to talk, and try to comprehend. Vikshepa goes away, Duksha Nivritti comes in, and then attains, Duksha is gone. 7th stage is Ananda Prapti. Lamp of bliss is attained. This is the 7th stage of the spiritual journey, in which we are all traveling around and taking through. In this, the Aparoksha Jnana, Atmanan Sid Vijanaya, ayam asmiti purushaha, kimichan kasaya kamaya, sariram anusamjare. It's the fifth stage in which we understand, and then we need to understand for what are we still searching and desires and craving, for what purpose are we going ahead and doing this. Now you attain this realization. Fifth stage is the realization, nirvana state. You attain nirvana, so all duksha nivritti. Sixth stage, samsara vanishes. What does that mean? It means suddenly you realize in the fifth stage that the 10th man is there in everyone. I am not the wave. I'm not the ocean. I am the water, which is in every wave, which is in every ocean, every lake, every pond, every rain, every source of water. The water alone is true. This realization. So, what are we realizing? Where is it? Where is it not? When is it? When is not? What is it? It is you and me and every 10% and all of us. This journey from the small self is the five senses, in which we tasted, smelt, and touched the world around, to the larger self, to the Brahman. I am Atman, Brahman, in which now is everywhere, in all the time, eternal, and it is non-dual. Vastu paricheda is gone, kala paricheda is gone, and desha paricheda is gone. The journey is now from not knowing to knowingness, to realization, to understanding. And this is the journey which I was reflecting upon, that why is it we all are so stuck within? Yes, it is because of our karma in the past, but it is because of our ignorance and why we are not wanting to. Now that we know, we must take up the journey with utter sincerity. Now, let me quickly go over through there are three types of knowledge. Let's say you are in Manhattan, New York, and you read in your travel guide and in Google Map about Central Park, and you would love to go down and visit there. Now you go walk around, follow the map, and you go in, and you read about the strawberry field, and you go to the strawberry field and you ask somebody, where is Central Park? He says, this is Central Park. You're asking, which is the 10th person? Where is Brahman? He said, you are Brahman. So in which the Pratyaksha Jnana is Pratyaksha. Yaksha actually in Sanskrit means eyes, but in the Vedantic sense, all the five senses are called Yaksha, are termed Yaksha. So when you acquire the world with Pratyaksha, is what we are seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, and we say, this is real. Let's face the real world. You often hear when you talk to people, and especially it comes in when spirituality and God, and he said, okay. And those who are not very well-traveled would say, I don't believe in God. I often ask them, okay, you don't believe in God? All right, tell me, can you explain to me what kind of a God you don't believe in? And they give various explanations why that riding on a tigress and 10 hands and 10 uh, and children and 10 heads. And I tell them, you know what? I also don't believe in that kind of God, but I know there is God, and there is, and you are that. They will smile and say, and maybe out of respect, they will keep quiet, will not say to in front of me. That is Pratyaksha. We are talking about perceptual knowledge. Pratyaksha is presented to the Yaksha with the world, and knowledge through hearing, seeing, testing. Then comes Paroksha. Let's say Paroksha Jnana. When we read Vedanta, Upanishad, it is Paroksha Jnana. So when the wise man told the 10 men, the 10 man is there. That was Paroksha. And Paroksha is heard, is read, or Paroksha is also, it's like through the remote, indirect knowledge. It's not a direct knowledge. Let's say you read about that Central Park. That was Paroksha Jnana. You read about the newspaper of the COVID-19, that 20,000 is so many have been vaccinated and things like that. How do you know that? You read about it or heard in the TV news or somebody told you on telephone. Aparoksha Jnana. And then comes Aparoksha Jnana, meaning very simple. Paroksha is beyond Aksha, beyond the five senses. So see, you make scientific deductions, inferences, you made hypotheses, and then you come to a conclusion. You do experiments and make all these and come to an understanding. Isaac Newton saw the apple fall, Archimedes saw the water bubbling away, and he came to an eureka understanding. Isaac Newton discovered till today the world's top physicist. How? Paroksha Jnana. And then came Aparoksha, which is not Paroksha, meaning not beyond. Paroksha is beyond Aksha. It is not indirect, it is direct knowledge. How is the direct knowledge? Are you there? You said, yes, I'm there. How do you know that? This is my existence. I know I'm here. It's not because I swiped my finger on an electronic scanner with my eye or finger, or that I had signed somewhere, or somebody said you were there, I know you were there. I don't have to ask somebody I was there. I don't have to do that. I just know I was there. In this, it is much more direct than the sensory knowledge. I was in strawberry field in the Central Park, but I was ignorant that I'm actually in the Central Park. The moment I know, oh, this is Central Park, it becomes direct knowledge, Aparoksha Jnana. The moment I say, I know I am there, Aparoksha Jnana, it is more direct. It is like all our feelings. You don't have to ask somebody, am I happy? You don't have to ask somebody. You know you're happy. You know you're worried. You know you're anxious or you're sad. You know, you don't have to ask somebody, is my knee paining? You know it. That's Aparoksha Jnana. Your own existence is revealed to us directly, and this is Aparoksha, self-evident. It's not. In the Aparoksha Jnana, there are two types of Aparoksha Jnana. Aparoksha Jnana is also immediate, and this means without mediation, not meditation, mediation, meaning without, through either a book, which is Paroksha, or a television news, which is Paroksha, or Pratyaksha, without Pratyaksha, meaning I saw it, or I heard it, or tasted it. It is none of them. It is immediate. I know I'm there. I ask the boys and girls sometimes when I guide them towards going in for 56 out of 56, the world toppers rank, and they do it. All I utilize the same principle. I ask them. The girl Tanishka, who I remember 2.5 years back, I was having a session with 15 odd kids. I asked them, why aren't you all writing 56? Highest they had talked about 48, 44, 40, 42, 56 is 100%. I said, why aren't you guys writing? This is it's very difficult. So you and I say, sir, Brahman, realizing God. Yeah, not for me, not in this life. I heard one of the ladies saying, not this life. I said, why? I start the journey. You and me, all of us must start the journey. Do some reading, do some realization, do some meditation, do some abhyasa yoga. And I asked the girl, they said this. I said, okay, tell me something. Are you a girl? I remember Tanishka Shah, she said, yes, sir. I said, are you sure? Come on, sir. Of course I know, I'm sure. I had the boy, I remember his name was Piyush, next to her. I said, Piyush, champion, you're a boy, right? She said, yes, sir. I said, how do you know? Come on, so I know. This is called Aparoksha Jnana. I said, tell me, Tanishka, do you have to work very hard to be a girl? She said, no. I said, why? She said, I just know it. Ignorance to knowledge. She was ignorant when she was a baby. I'm a girl or a boy. Slowly as she grew up, she was told, you're a girl, you're a girl, you're a girl. And she realized, and you're a boy. And I said, after that, just like you're a boy, you know you're a boy, you're a girl, you know you're a girl, you're a human being, you know. I'm saying you and I, we are Brahman, and we have to take up the journey. And in this journey, by my own existence, mediated by nothing, direct experience is the fifth stage. And in the mental states, we go beyond all joy, pain, and pleasure. Our joy, pain, and pleasures are. So Aparoksha Jnana is realizing the real nature of our own existence, which is we did not know, but we need to realize it through this infinite, unlimited consciousness and existence, immortal within us, and attain that Ananda Prapti. There are two types of Aparoksha Jnana. First is direct. You and I know a direct knowledge is Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahman. Brahman is there. We know that. It's the first Aparoksha Jnana. That's the first type. And this is called Swayam Praksha. Swayam Prakasha. It's effulgent, brilliant light. In the meditation, when you go on to in your meditation state, Prajnana Asmin, Satchit Ananda Asmin, and then Suprabha Asmin, Jyoti Jyoti, and Brihadaranyaka Asmin. And then you imagine the brilliant light all around. You are imagining it, you're visualizing it, sure. But that's how you reach through the practices. It becomes real to you. 10 men were practicing, could not. The Guru showed him, and then he realized it. Suddenly, it just happened. And it is Swam Prakasha. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna saw millions of sun light, self-illumined, self-conscious nature of the ultimate reality. 10th person was always there. Brahman is always there. The person who was counting was always the 10th person. While through the Vikshepa he was 10, when Ajnana, when Avarana, the same. Ajnana, Avarana, Vikshepa, he was still there. And Paroksha Jnana also he was there. But notice something, the Guru did not say, To understand, to realize, you sit still, close your eyes, breathe like that, and attain samadhi state. And there in the samadhi state, you will realize that you are that one Brahman. When? After samadhi. In Advaita Vedanta, is not saying to do what. Yes, certainly we have to do some things like what we're doing right now, but it is not to do an act, it is an understanding. It is from ignorance to knowledge, to wisdom, to understanding it. And that ever-present nature of Brahman gets revealed. The second time of Aparoksha Jnana is that the enlightenment takes place on the fifth stage when I realize that I am. But in which what happens? Understand it carefully. Paroksha Jnana, the teacher, the guru said that 10th man is there. And the Aparoksha Jnana came from Paroksha Jnana. Paroksha Jnana was the pointer. This is the road to Mumbai, and I reached Mumbai. Paroksha Jnana was in the map. I reached the Central Park. I went to the strawberry field, but I did not know that I'm standing in the Central Park. I didn't know. When I asked somebody, he said, yes, Paroksha Jnana became, oh, this is Central Park of Manhattan. I attain Aparoksha Jnana. That is that Aham Brahmasmi. Now, there are Aprama and Prama. This is a little technical thing that you need to just cursorily understand. There are four kinds of doubts which Vedanta Swami has brought out in the Panchadashi, in which the first doubt is, I did not know that I was the 10th person. And after enlightenment, I attained the enlightenment. So the doubt is, the first doubt, that you had read, but you did not know that you were beyond this body. So now the question is, when you know that you're enlightened, you're now reached fifth stage, first doubt. You're in the fifth stage, you're enlightened. That means that first knowledge which you were told, Tat Tvamasi, you were told by a guru. Is that wrong? As per our understanding, that should be wrong. Because I was thinking I'm only a body and a name and a form, and suddenly I realized Aham Brahmasmi, I'm the Brahma. That means this mind body form is wrong. So Vidyaranya Swami is saying, no, it is not wrong. Tulsidas, makes a beautiful statement. Show me one person in his statement, he's writing in his Doha. Show me one person who can show me Advaita without going through Dvaita, without going through dualism, come to reach non-dualism. And this is why we practice the Kriya Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Raja Yoga, the Karma Yoga, and then the Jnana Yoga, the knowingness, all through the dualism to the non-dualism, through the knowledge of duality, eventually we realize non-dual. You may continue to operate knowing you are Brahman, but in the samsara, you don't have to run up to Himalayas. Let's say Buddha, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, Jesus Christ, they knew. They were the Paramahamsa God. They knew. Muhammad, they knew. But they continued to operate in the samsara and the family, seeing God in everyone, seeing water in every wave, in every ocean. I am the water is in everywhere. And this is called, this cancellation of the previous knowledge is called Baddha Jnana, which is not valid. It is simple, it is on. And it is not in the first, is the earlier knowledge is not cancelled, is the first doubt. The second kind of doubt may come in, that you had read in the Upanishad, you have read in the Vedanta, Shankaracharya has written down, our gurus are writing and talking about it. So the second doubt is, I had read about it all that. The general knowledge is not invalidated when you attain the specific knowledge of attain the fifth standard. Now, these are little technical, but you should know about it. I'm being guided to share it with you. In this absence of specific knowledge, you are generalizing, and Vidyarananda Swami is saying it is valid. What Guru had said, you have realized it now, that Guru's knowledge was Paroksha Jnana. Now, Paroksha Jnana has become Aparoksha Jnana. Aparoksha is direct knowledge, but I read and I've been there, now I know it. I'm tasting it, tasting the mango, not just reading about the mango. The third doubt is the indirect knowledge. Is it knowledge at all? Indirect knowledge, Paroksha Jnana, not Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is direct knowledge because you watching it, seeing it, and you say this is the real world. Not the direct realization of Aparoksha, but direct as far as the physical world is concerned. Paroksha, I've read. That means no need to read Upanishads and Vedanta and practice, or where is all these are knowledge at all. Because after all, it is proven to be wrong. Your mind, body, name is proven to be wrong. You're not that. You're Paramatma. So is it now? Vidyarananda goes and says, no, it is not wrong. It is before enlightenment, it was indirect, and now it has become direct knowledge as you attain the Brahman. So enlightened person's perspective, Brahman is never Paroksha. Once you enlighten, you say Brahman, that knowledge which was being spoken, apparently is Paroksha. I read on it. It is never indirect. And the fourth knowledge is the partial knowledge. Is it valid? What is it? It is, we're talking about the indirect knowledge, consciousness. It's the Sat, Chit, and Ananda. That I am, that is the direct knowledge that you reached. Is it incomplete? What is incomplete? That is, we are talking about only partial knowledge cannot be knowledge. The gurus and say knowledge cannot be partial, or theory of knowledge, those of you who've done, and those of you who've done a lot of research and studies, and most of you have, no knowledge is partial. Either it is knowledge or it is not knowledge. And this knowledge is, I'm holding the pot. You say, I'm holding the pot. Remember Vedanta, famous example. And the guru says, no, you're holding clay.
It's 12
so that
o'clock.
Means that pot knowledge, it's 12 o'clock. Should be finishing in another few minutes. That knowledge that I was holding a pot is not wrong, because the pot everywhere, inside, outside, top, bottom, everything is clay. And that it is not incomplete, it is not indirect, it is valid knowledge. Upanishad says existence aspect, that is Sat, existence, is the, here indirect knowledge becomes direct knowledge. So what is put together can always fall apart is the argument of the dualist. Since you're putting together and you say it will fall apart, Buddha has said anything which is compounded will deteriorate and go. So since you're saying, what is this? What are we trying to say? In Vidyarananda Swami in Panchadashi is saying that you say Brahman is Sat, Brahman is Chit, consciousness, Brahman is Ananda. So that means Sat, Chit, and Ananda. There are three different parts in Brahman. How can it be that Brahman is non-dual? It is dual now because it has got compounded parts, and it will destroy, it will get destroyed, it will be deteriorated. Brahman is not eternal. So the answer to this is no. it is not so. The understanding, no parts in Brahman. Brahman is one alone, and there are Sat, Chit, Ananda. What you're talking about is this. It is only because of a perspective of a duality for which it is with the perspective of the duality. I'm trying to make the dual people understand non-duality. So you have to go from duality to non-duality, because otherwise you cannot comprehend. And that is why you have Durga Mata, Kali Mata, and Shiva, and Krishna, and Vishnu, and Gurdwara, and Kaaba stone, to say from this stone you go to non-dual, and to understand that. So only in samsara, for the purpose of liberation from samsara, the ultimate reality is expressed through words. Words are expressing, and that is called Sat Chit Ananda. Now, the last message, which is towards the words cannot capture Brahman. Brahman is the only one, remember we had shared about it, is cannot be Eto in Bengali, Oita and Juta in Hindi. It cannot be. Brahman cannot be expressed, but we are trying to express. Vidyaranya is making a great effort in trying to express it. So, without taking the help of transcendental level, no one realizes the absolute. This is Buddhist master Nagarjuna had said. And the transcendental level, subject, object, samsara, duality, ignorance, suffering, spirituality, religion, enlightenment, all these transcendental are the ambience of the transcendence journey. And the parts are Brahman. Brahman has no parts. Then what is Brahman? Upanishad says, Vidyaranya, Taittiriya Upanishad that's tried to express, but truly when you say, what is Brahman? Maunam Brahman, only silence. The direction, the distinction between Mahavakyas and this is called Avantara Vakya. Avantara Vakya is, Mahavakyas are the direct truth. Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnana Brahman, Tattvamasi, I am Atman Brahman are the Mahavakyas. But Avantara Vakyam are the secondary, auxiliary, supporting, but it is not central. So most sentences in Upanishad are supporting. So whatever you read in Upanishad and Vedanta, it may not be Mahavakya, but these Avantara Vakyas, they also tell. Ultimately, there is something called Brahman. It doesn't become false. It is true. It's called Avantara Vakya, new terminology for the Vedanta's journey in the student. There is Brahman. Brahman Asti. Brahman Vati. There is the 10th man. It's there. Mahavakyas, you are aware of it. With this, I just lift it up. This understanding, normally indirect knowledge given by words and direct knowledge given by senses, normally, which is Pratyaksha. But in Vedanta, this is beautiful and a beautiful knowledge. I was illumined when I understood is both Avantara Vakya and Mahavakya are expressed in Vedanta by word. In the real life, so-called in the physical world, we say, I've seen it, so it is real. But you realize direct knowledge is more direct than Pratyaksha, is realizing existence. So indirect knowledge given by words is Avantara Vakya. And direct knowledge also given by words in Vedanta is Mahavakya. I come to an end. I welcome you to this beautiful world of, you're welcome. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. Increase the volume of the speaker. Any question? Could you speak loudly? I cannot hear anything. Could you speak a little loudly? Is there anybody asking a question or no? Okay. A beautiful journey. Take on the journey. This is something which has to be silently being still to understand that this world we are traveling around outwards, outwards. When we say that, let's say our beloved devotee Swapnadeep, his body is not dead, but he is not dead. It is not in the plaque put that so-and-so year to so-and-so year. Your relatives, people, friends who have gone from the so-called visual physical world, their body is gone. The body is a compounded nature. It is born, remember, it is born, it will exist, it will grow, and then it will deteriorate. It will mature, it will deteriorate, and then it will be gone. The sixfold of the journey as per Vedanta. The body will go, but the Brahman, the Atman, the supreme I, which is the big self, can never die. It travels, it carries the mind with. Mind is not the Brahman, but the mind is carried with the Sukshma Sharira, which in turn gives you your results of this life. Whatever you've done, it accumulates and goes along with us. And if you are leading a good life, it is because of the good work that you've done. If you and I are being guided to Vedanta, because we must have done something great, respect that, take it on, and take up the journey. Sometimes this question comes to many. I've been hearing that how is that person, he is leading such a terrible life, he's a very bad guy, but he's got so much of money, he's got apparently very happy family, his children, his husband, his wife, and everybody is okay, and the parents, and a beautiful building and cars. I have no faith in religion. No, what we're not realizing that if I make deposits to the bank with my good work, I'm going to realize that deposit by withdrawal. So they must have done some good work in the past. So they're doing withdrawal from that past good karma to enjoy that current apparent good life, but leading a bad life right now. That is going to come back and affect them. Pray for them that may they lead a purer life and attain the consciousness of understanding. Jai Guru. May the Divine Mother, God, the Guru, gods of all religion, the gurus of all practices, all abhyasas, our known Gurudev Paramahansa Yogananda, Yukteswar Girilari Maase, Swami Sri Vivekananda, Holy Mother Sharada, Paramahansa Ramakrishna. Bless us all that we attain the oneness with this journey itself in this life alone. Akasha Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Vayu Shanti, Jalaspataya Shanti, Agnyaya Shanti, Gau Shanti. Uttaradesha Shanti, Dakshinaya Shanti, Paschimaya Shanti, Purvadesha Shanti, Manaha Shanti, Chittaha Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I pray for all of you. You be protected and those around you from all suffering, all sicknesses. May there be a shield around you which protects you from all suffering. May you have abundance, no shortage of everything of which are good. Peace, happiness, kindness, joy, money, abundance of the material possession, and yet you be detached like the lotus living in the midst of the water, but the water cannot touch it. Attain the Atma Gyan. Jai Guru.